The countdown began quietly, almost imperceptibly. On July 13, 2147, the United Nations Space Command confirmed what no one wanted to acknowledge: 99 million humans had died in the latest wave of interplanetary terror attacks. Entire colonies on Mars, Titan, and Ganymede were erased in hours, leaving nothing but twisted metal, smoldering habitat domes, and the faint echo of desperate cries lost in the void. The perpetrators were unknown. Officially, humanity blamed rogue AI insurgents and unknown alien forces. But whispers had already spread across Earth, murmurs of something far older, far darker, that humanity had provoked in its blind arrogance. In the shadow of this devastation, the United States, fractured politically but unmatched in technological might, had made a choice. Desperate, enraged, and unchecked, Earth unleashed the ultimate weapons. Two entities whispered in folklore, feared as bedtime terrors, legends twisted into reality: the American Boogeyman and the Baba Yaga. Part 1: The Awakening of the Boogeyman. Colonel Marcus Heller had been stationed on the orbital command hub Artemis IV when the order came. Military scientists had spent years experimenting with what they called Project Nightfall, a classified program aimed at weaponizing the fears embedded deep within human consciousness. "Their minds can't contain it," explained Dr. Elise Kavanagh, the lead cognitive architect. "We've created entities that thrive on terror itself. Once released, they can strike across planetary distances." Marcus stared at the containment chamber. It pulsed faintly in the artificial darkness. A figure crouched inside, impossibly tall and unnerving, its elongated limbs wrapped in tattered black leather, eyes glowing a cold red. "The Boogeyman," Elise said. "Earth's vengeance incarnate. It doesn't think. It doesn't hesitate. It hunts." Marcus felt a chill run down his spine. "And the Baba Yaga? She's worse." Elise's voice faltered. "Unlike the Boogeyman, she manipulates. She twists reality. Entire fleets have disappeared under her influence. Even our best psychic shields can't predict her patterns." The decision had been made. Humanity's political leaders, blinded by grief, had ordered the release. They would strike back at the unknown forces responsible for the genocide, even if it meant unleashing demons no one could control. The Boogeyman was first. Marcus watched as the containment field dissolved. The creature stretched, towering over the scientists, its limbs bending at impossible angles. When it moved, it did not walk. It glided, a predator born from collective nightmares. It was unleashed upon the Martian colonies first, infiltrating habitats silently, leaving behind nothing but destruction and madness. Colonists reported whispers in the dark, shadows that clawed at their minds, visions of childhood fears turned monstrous. In the span of 3 hours, entire settlements were obliterated. Part 2: Baba Yaga descends. The Baba Yaga emerged in orbit over Europa, a planet of icy domes and methane storms. Unlike the Boogeyman, she was an intricate terror, a grotesque figure perched atop a flying hut, her limbs gnarled and skeletal, eyes glowing with a malevolent amber light. Her voice carried across comms as distorted whispers. "You will regret what your species has done," she intoned. "Your children, your cities, your homes, I will claim them as my own." She moved with supernatural grace, bending gravity around her hut, warping time to confuse sensor systems. Entire fleets sent to intercept her were never found. Satellites reported nothing but disappearing signals and distorted space-time anomalies. Marcus and Elise realized the true horror too late. The demons fed not just on human fear, they adapted it. The more humans tried to fight, the more powerful they became. The American Boogeyman could read intentions, anticipate movements, and exploit weaknesses. The Baba Yaga could manipulate memories, conjuring illusions of friends and family to betray even the strongest soldiers. By the second week, the tally of the dead surpassed 100 million. Part 3: Humanity Strikes Back. Yet humanity is nothing if not relentless. The United Nations Space Command convened an emergency council in Earth's orbital fortress above the Pacific Rim. Containment is failing, General Aiko Yamamoto admitted. The demons aren't just weapons, they are evolving entities. If we don't act, Earth itself will be next. Dr. Kavanagh proposed an unthinkable solution. We must merge human cognition with the entities. Synchronize our consciousness with theirs. Only by guiding them can we control the chaos they unleash. Marcus volunteered. His military record was flawless, his psychological profile stable. He would serve as the tether, the bridge between human command and the unleashed horrors. The procedure was unprecedented. Marcus's mind was linked via neural interface to both the Boogeyman and Baba Yaga. At first, it was agony. Visions of every fear he had ever harbored, multiplied 1,000-fold. Shadows clawed at his soul, voices whispered betrayals, and memories twisted into grotesque mockeries. But then, he found focus. He realized that the demons were extensions of human fear and rage. If he could anchor them to purpose, to vengeance that was just and controlled, he could direct their power. With a thought, he sent the Boogeyman toward the last surviving Martian fleets that had betrayed colonies, instructing it to hunt selectively, sparing innocents. The creature obeyed, terrifying but precise. Next, he turned to the Baba Yaga. Using subtle psychic cues, he guided her through Europa's methane storms, forcing her to dismantle rogue AI factories that had betrayed human settlements, bending her manipulations to reveal hidden survivors instead of consuming them. It was a dangerous game. One misstep, and the demons would turn on him, or worse, on Earth itself. Part 4: The Turning Point. By month 3, Marcus had learned to control them. He and the Boogeyman shared instinctive understanding. He felt her hunger for terror, her speed, her inevitability. With the Baba Yaga, it was subtler, a dance of persuasion, teaching her which fears were to be exploited and which to be spared. Humans watched as the tide turned. The demons, once uncontrollable agents of death, became harbingers of precision vengeance. Rogue alien forces responsible for the initial attacks were hunted, destroyed, or neutralized. Colonies that had been cut off were revealed and stabilized. Yet the victory was bittersweet. Humanity had unleashed monsters, and even when controlled, they were still monsters. No colony wanted to forget the cries of loved ones who had been lost to their first rampage. No soldier wanted to recall the nightmares of being linked mentally to entities that could devour a psyche in seconds. Marcus emerged from the neural interface exhausted, physically and mentally broken, but alive. The Boogeyman retreated into the shadows of the Martian canyons, waiting for its next command. The Baba Yaga returned to Europa, perched in her hut, a silent sentinel that watched, remembered, and obeyed. Part 5: A World Reforged. By the end of 2150, Earth was quiet, but forever changed. Humanity had survived, but at a cost no one dared quantify. Entire fleets were gone, billions had perished, and yet the lessons were clear. Fear could be weaponized, but only if tempered by understanding. Monsters could be allies if guided by human will. Marcus walked along the rebuilt corridors of the New Geneva Orbital Station, looking at the countless memorials to those lost. A plaque commemorated the 99 million who had first perished and the billions saved afterward. Dr. Kavanagh approached him quietly. "They obeyed you," she said. "The Boogeyman, the Baba Yaga, they are bound to your mind. Yes, he admitted, looking out at the swirling nebulae visible through the station's observation window. But I don't think that will ever make me comfortable. They are still demons. They always will be. She nodded. Perhaps. But sometimes, demons are what humanity needs to survive. Marcus let that sink in. He knew the truth. Earth had walked a razor's edge between survival and annihilation. The American Boogeyman and the Baba Yaga were not simply weapons. They were the manifestation of everything humanity had feared, and everything it was willing to become to endure. And somewhere, deep in the Martian canyons and Europa's methane storms, the demons waited. Not as mindless agents, but as guardians of a species that had learned, the hard way, that it could summon nightmares and bend them to protect what it loved. As the sun rose over Earth's oceans, Marcus allowed himself a rare moment of reflection. Humanity had survived. Its horrors had survived too. But in the delicate balance between terror and control, perhaps there was hope. Perhaps the monsters, once unleashed, could also be the saviors. Because Earth had learned something fundamental. When humanity is cornered, when billions have been lost, it doesn't just fight back. It becomes something darker, something stronger, something capable of raising its own demons and teaching them to fight for life instead of death. And in that terrifying, luminous, shadowed truth, Marcus found a fragile optimism. The war was over, for now. But the stories of the Boogeyman and the Baba Yaga would echo through human consciousness forever. They had killed millions. But Earth had survived. And in surviving, it had unleashed forces the universe would never forget.